Namaste, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another one of my whimsical reviews in which I wax eloquent about a lot of things triggered in my mind by what I watch. I'm Axat and I just rewatched Interstellar. By the time the Murphy's Law kicks into place, we already know that Interstellar is not going to be the usual run of the mill science fiction movie. In fact, I think it already defines a lot of ways in which technology will help us transcend the boundaries of both our little blue marble, our cocoon of existence, and expand to different territories in the solar system and finally the Milky Way towards making the Foundation series of Isaac Asimov a reality to benefit all of humanity. The hero astronaut serendipitously gets an Indian Air Force drone with outstanding solar cells. I love India and ISRO, and I love seeing the Indian space economy grow, as well as the solar. Air is 80% nitrogen, and we don't even breathe nitrogen. But people want routine. Where would we go without oxygen in our brains and in our blood? And religious processes provide palatable routines that comfort the human soul. And now, an impromptu postscript vlog about points I noted while watching ISS, Interstellar, and I just added an S over there to make it the International Space Station. But talking about the space economy, as I was saying, I love to see the space economy grow, and I want to tell you something about it, but I can't seem to place that space.com email. I believe it's in my red emails. Yep, here we go. Okay, so uh, Space Economy Summit is happening November 5th to 6th in Orlando. Yeah, where did it go? Where do you go, my lovely? I wanna know. Where do you go, go, go? Oh, well, I wanna know. Oh, well. Space Economy Summit. Here we go. So, the Space Economy Summit is, like I said, November 5th to 6th in Orlando. And, there are a lot of things that can be expanded upon as we explore outer space. In fact, outer space would be too far. I would say near Earth space, because asteroids are there which have the potential to become the sources of some really uh, different sort of ores and minerals, and they are easier to reach than the moon, rich in water and platinum group metals, and they have the resources to fuel missions and power Earth's high-tech economy. These are the thoughts of Dan Golden, the ninth administrator of NASA from 1992 to 2001, almost a decade-long experience at the head of what is undoubtedly the premier space agency. SpaceX is great, but SpaceX has launch capabilities, and I think NASA is a very well-rounded organization which deserves all the funding and more that Trump is cutting. But then again, there are lots of forces in play. There are lots of fights going on for money, and I think the moon economy is something that will grow out of that eventually, because when I was writing my science fiction novel An Android Awoke, 400 years in the future, I envision that moon has been colonized properly. There are self-sufficient human colonies on it. People are first and second generation Mooninites, which is a term I borrowed from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. But I think at the center of my novel is a planned trilogy, and the trilogy is going to focus on the power struggle between Earth, Moon, and Mars, because Mars, the colony on Mars, which humans have occupied in my novels, have found an ore which leads to the extraction of an element that might power close to speed of light travel, and that will make it, you know, I would say extremely important would be understatement for space travel in the future. But that's all fiction. And I think the way that fiction and fact overlap is sometimes great. Just spiraling back to Interstellar, the gravitational waves that were found by LIGO were part of the early scripts of Interstellar, and they were removed because Christopher Nolan thought that they were a little too far-fetched for that time, and then just a few months later gravitational waves were discovered. So serendipitous findings and pointed research and sometimes just human creativity and human, shall I say, perseverance is what gets us a lot of scientific breakthroughs. And I think that is something that should be encouraged in young minds. It is something that is crucial to making society better instead of being embroiled in strife over imaginary concepts and money, I guess. Money is important, yes, it makes the world go round, but it should not be at the top of our priorities at the expense of being kind to one another. I think being kind, as Stephen Fry used to say, is much more important than being rich. And I guess that's enough for a diatribe, for a rant, as one might call it, for today. And I guess I'll see you all in my next vlogs. If you haven't seen my other space exploration and human spaceflight videos, do check them out. And I would like to know what you think in the comments. Let's build a better society for tomorrow. And if you want to know my views about 6Rsm, which is my existentialist philosophy, do check out my previous videos. I am Akshat from India. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for spending your precious time listening to me. uh, Take care, stay safe, and namaste.